Hello, children. Sorry, I'm filling my tea. So, today, we're going to work on iReady lesson
I know,
6,
it's hard.
analyzing character development. I know I really should have filled my tea before I start this, but I don't care. So, we're going to do the guided practice, the model instruction and the guided practice together. You will write in your book, as I read these questions and passages, and then we'll stop at the questions, and we'll do those together. You're not going to turn in your pages, you're just going to write. Okie dokie. So, lesson 7, analyzing character development. What makes the characters in a story seem real? It's all in the details. Authors can describe the characters' attitudes or how they think, act, and feel. They can also describe the characters' motivations or the reasons for their actions. Often a character's attitude and motivation change during the story. The story unfolds, readers learn more about a character based on how that person responds to events. Study the cartoon for each panel. Think about what the boy does and why he doesn't. We're going to complete the chart below based on the detail you see in the cartoon above. What the boy does. He takes the ice cream from the little girl. Why he doesn't. He might think it's funny. What this shows about him. He's not always kind. He likes to play jokes. What the boy does. He hesitates when the girl becomes upset. Why he doesn't. He wonders if the joke was such a good idea. And then we'll fill in what this shows about him. What the boy does. He gives the ice cream cone back to the girl. Then what he does and what this shows about it, we will fill in together as a class. Then describe how the boy changed over time, which we will as a class. Pause. Unpause.
Then we'll do that at the end.
Characters and stories often change in response to events. If this sounds familiar, it should. It's one of the ways in which authors make stories similar to real life. So we'll pause at that moment. We'll kind of talk about how life does that. Part 2, modeled instruction. We're going to read the first part of the story about a girl named Lost. Before we do that, we're going to look at the questions, though. We're going to explore how to answer this question. Based on our response to events, what kind of person is Rosalind? Support your response with detail from the story. You're going to complete the chart to show how Rosalind responds to events. Consider what character trait each response reveals. What happens? Peanut gets lost. How Rosalind responds. Rosalind is upset because Graham loves Peanut. What happens? Rosalind worries about getting lost too. What happens? Rosalind sees Peanut. Then we're going to describe Rosalind's character. We're going to use detail from the story and the chart to support the answer.
It's going to be pushing it.
Lost. By Janelle Hager. Peanut! Rosalind yelled hoarsely for the 15th time as panic surged through her veins. How often had Graham said, "Raj, without you and Peanut, I'd be lost." Well, now yappy, pampered little Peanut was lost. "I was so distracted by my texting that I dropped his leash," Rosalind groaned. "How can I face Graham?" "Peter!" Rosalind hollered into the voice. "I have to be careful or I'll get lost too," she worried. "I need a map." Rosalind darted back to Graham's house, returning moments later with a pencil and paper. 10 steps. Tree, she scribbled and illustrated. Peanut! Then 12. Left. Push. Bee! Yep! Yep. Peanut barked as Rosalind finally saw him, his legs tangled in branches and his paws flailing. Rosalind nearly shed tears of joy. So now we're going to go back and we're going to complete this chart as a class. And we're going to describe Rosalind's character. Pause. Unpause.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end, because we don't have time to stop.
Part 3, guided instruction. We're going to continue this story. We're going to continue reading about how Rosalind and Peanut, or about Rosalind and Peanut. We're going to use close reading and hint to help answer the questions. So the question we see is circle the correct answer. Why does Rosalind's attitude towards Peanut change? A, losing Peanut makes Rosalind realize how important the dog is to both her and Graham. B, Rosalind is sure that she'll get into trouble for texting instead of watching Peanut. C, Rosalind's fear of getting lost in the woods make her understand how Peanut feels. D, Rosalind is grateful to Peanut for giving her the chance to become a better person. And then show her thinking, or show your thinking. Look at the answer you chose above. Write down at least 2 details from the story that helped you identify your answer. Let's go back to close reading. At first, Rosalind thinks of the dog as yappy, pampered little Peanut. We're going to underline the sentence on this page that shows how her attitude has changed. Now let's look at the hint. What conclusion does Rosalind reach at the end of the story? So now we'll continue. Oh, Peanut! Relief flooded over Rosalind as she rushed towards the distressed dog. I've never been so happy to see anyone. She untangled the leash and embraced the disgruntled animal. Then, referring to her map, Rosalind retraced her steps and escorted Peanut home. Later, when Graham returned home, Rosalind confessed everything. I'm sorry, she concluded. I'd be lost without you and Peanut. So again, let's go back to the close reading and ask ourselves, at first, Rosalind thinks the dog is yappy, pampered little Peanut. Let's underline the sentence that on this page that shows our attitude is changed towards Peanut. And then hint, what conclusion does Rosalind reach at the end of the story? We're going to circle the one that we think is the best answer for this. Pause.
Again, we'll do that at the end.
Then we're going to look at the answer that we chose above and write down at least 2 details from the story that helps identify your answer. We'll do that together. Pause. Unpause. And then not with a partner, but as a class, we're going to compare and contrast. Remember, we did that with Bridge Terabithia. Rosalind's character at the beginning and the end of the story. Part 4, guided practice. We're going to read the drama. It says, use study buddy and close reading to guide your reading. But let's look at our questions before we do. Number 1, how does you feel about climbing up Canyon Mountain before he reaches the top? A, he is fascinated by the beauty of the rocks. B, he is happy to be hiking the trail again. C, he is troubled by the difficulty of the hike. D, he is frustrated by how slowly Liane walks. 2, which sentence from the passage best supports the answer for question 1? A, just how much farther is it, Liane? B, Where exactly are we going again? C, this is not what I expected. We're at the top of the world. D, it was worth it. And 3, how and why does you change during the play? Include your ideas about how you respond to events as they unfold. So, again, before we read this, let's go back to look at things like close reading and hints. What a character says reveals details about him or her. Circle particular words you says that shows what he thinks about hiking past the play's start. At what point in the play does Yu's attitude about hiking change? Draw a box around the line that shows the shift in his attitude. Hint, why does Yu mention the trail more than once? Which choice suggests that Yu would like the hike to be over? What experience causes Yu to change his mind about hiking? What does the hike teach him? Yu, reaching the top, I can move. Yu, breathlessly. Just how much farther is it, Lian? Lian. The top is just around the bend. Won't be long now. Yu. That's what you said an eternity ago. Are you sure? Lian. Dad and I hiked this trail 3 times last month. Yu. Seeing the same rock sounds as fascinating as watching turnip grow. Where exactly are we going again? Lian. You're beyond hopeless, Yu. We're on Kinsman Ridge Trail now, heading to the summit of Canyon Mountain, about 4,080 feet above sea level. Yu. More like 4,080 blisters above sea level. Would it really have been so horrible to have taken the aerial tramway? Lian. That would be so anticlimactic. It wouldn't be worth it. I swear. There's nothing quite like that magnificent view. Yu, muttering. Tramways are an excellent form of transportation. Nice comfy seats. No shooting foot pain. Lian, exclaiming from out of sight. Oh, you! Come see! Yu glumly trudges up the trail to join Lian at the summit, which affords a mile-long view of the White Mountains. Yu, breathless in awe, no exhaustion. Wow! This is not what I expected. We're at the top of the world.
That's hyperbole.
Look at that giant one over there. Can we climb that too? Man. Climb the mountain? Oh, that would be too difficult. Yu, earnestly. No, we could do it. It would be worth it. Okay, so now, again, we're going to go back and we're going to circle particular words and we're going to draw that box. Pause. Unpause. And now let's answer these questions together as a class. You're going to write in your notes. And then we'll also include your ideas about how you respond to events as the stories unfold. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for today, Pirates. As always, if you have any questions, please raise your hand in class. Please unmute yourself in class if you're remote learners. Remote learners, what I want is I want you to open up your camera, and I want to see that you've written down what we wrote down as a class. And I will give you your points based off of that. If you're having trouble with that, then what I want you to do is I want you to take a picture of your pages and send it to me via email, and that's how I'll give you points. As always, Pirates, if you have any questions, again, unmute yourself, raise your hand, message me through Schoolology. Thank you very much, and have a respectful day.
So because of the time limit, and I gotta download something real quick, we're not gonna have as much time to do everything that I wanted. So we're only gonna do the questions to the week. I need to check something real quick. Sorry. I'm a bad student. I should have had this ready. I've been here a lot this morning. I should have had it ready. There we go. Come on, Neil. And I know you guys like sleeping in, but it messes up things I have planned for the day. There it is. Let me try on this. All right. So let's just work on the questions so we can at least write those down. We don't have time to write down the chart, but see, if we asked, we could say, he hesitates when the girl becomes very upset. He wonders if his joke was such a good idea. What does it show about it? You know, it could show about him. He realizes he's being a jerk for picking on a little kid. He gives the girl back her ice cream. Why does he do it? Well, he doesn't want to be a bully. He doesn't want to be a jerk. What does it show about him? He's learning maturity. Again, we don't have time to unfortunately do those. So let's just do the questions. I'll give you the points to this. Let's look at the chart. Peanut gets lost. Rosalind is upset because Graham loves Peanut. Rosalind worries about getting lost too. How does Rosalind respond? What does she do to make sure that she doesn't get lost too? Jim.
Goes back to Graham's house to get a map.
Perfect. So write down, she gets a map and chalk. Because doesn't she like take steps and kind of says and marks where she's at so she doesn't get lost? Kind of like Hansel and Gretel. And then Rosalind sees Peanut. How does Rosalind respond when she sees the dog? Jim.
She nearly sheds her tears.
Nice. Ben.
Rosalind cries with joy.
Love it. She is tearful. And relieved. So write that down. Good. And again, it shows a difference. It shows that development in Rosalind. I'm sorry, guys, if this is hard to see. This is the best I can do. And it shows that development. She started off as a, bless you, my child, that's why you need to have that up. She shows, again, at first she was just a spoiled person, then when she lost the dog she was texting, she realizes how valuable Peanut is to Grandma and to her. We don't have time to do this part because we leave in like 8 minutes, and I want to give you guys enough time.
Thanks.
I know. I don't like these late start dates. Screw stuff up. But I just kind of said that. We described Rosalind's character. We used detail from the chart. It shows that, again, she developed. She evolved. she went from a spoiled brat who just thought about herself and her phone to someone who actually cared that something got lost, to responsibility, to realizing Graham entrusted her to not lose her dog. We good? Ah,
Where is Shonak?
what's up?
Where can we find this?
The page? Page 61 and 62.
I don't have the book.
Well, we need you to figure out how to get the book. I've got it on my website. You can download it, but I don't have it on Mac. You were supposed to grab a book 5 months ago, buddy. Well, I'll get with Mr. Roboto about, we'll figure out how to get you a book. Okay. So, let's look. Underline the sentence on this page that shows how Rosalind's attitude has changed towards Peanut. If we look at this passage, what sentence shows how her attitude has changed? Gio.
He lost without you and Peanut.
Perfect. So, that very last sentence, I'm going to highlight, you guys underline. That shows a shift in her attitude that shows a development of her character, her point of view, from someone who just was texting and lost the dog to realizing how valuable that dog is to her. I think that's going to move on me. I hate that. Now, if we look at the hint, why does Rosalind's attitude change towards Peanut? What conclusion does Rosalind reach at the end of the story? Which answer is best? A, B, C, or D? What do you think, Ben?
A, because losing Peanut makes Rosalind realize how important her dog is to both her and her bird.
I love it. Again, this is me. If I'm doing it, if I was not doing a test, I could say A or D are both fantastic. Because I really do love A, but man, do I love D as well. But let's go with A. Is yes. Because Rosalind is grateful to Peanut for giving her a chance to become a better person. Like I said, if I was grading this, I would go A and D. If you pick A or D, I'd give you points. But you can talk me into either one of these answers. They're both real good. Now, we don't have time to write the details. It says, look at the answer you chose above and write down 2 details that help you. Like we were saying, like Ben said, losing Peanut makes Rosalind realize how important the dog is to both her and Graham. Some details, like we said earlier, she cries tears of joy when she finds Peanut. She's honest with Graham about losing Peanut. Those are some details that if we wanted to write, we could. I just don't have time to write it. Let's go to you. Let's look at those questions. First, if we were to circle particular words that show how he thinks about hiking at the start. Again, it's so hard to do this with like 5 minutes left. I hate this. Just don't have time. All right, gosh darn it. Let's just go to the questions. Oh, wrong way, stupid. Okay, how does you feel about climbing before he reaches the top? What do you think there, Kiara?
C.
See? Yes. He's troubled by how difficult the hike is. You know, he's just sitting there complaining. Yeah, and when he says 4,080 feet above sea level, oh. You guys realize that Pueblo is 4,895 feet above sea level? So we're already higher than they are just living here. And how about which sentence from the passage best supports the answer to this question? Just how much farther is it? Where exactly are we going? It's not what I expected it. It wouldn't be worth it. What do you guys think? Ben,
A.
I love A. Again, could you get me to go with B? Sure, but A's better because, again, the complaining of just how far it is. Now, when they says, how and why does use change during the play? We see that U changes by looking at the great view of the mountain. He has a different perspective, a different attitude about how much fun it is to hike. He loves that view so much that he wants to hike more and hike more and hike more. I'm going to be nice and give everyone 10 out of 10 points for this today. Mac, we need to figure out a way for you to get this book. Okay, tomorrow, you guys are going to do that iReady assignment that I assigned for you. So make sure, so Elias, you got to bring your computer tomorrow, buddy. Okay, make sure you have your laptops for tomorrow. Kiddos, I'll give you guys all your points for today. Good job. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.
See you tomorrow, Mr. Shornack. Have a good day, Mr. Shornack.
Bye, guys.